I've never seen a blogger really go in there.
I should go to a strip club and like review the sandwich.
Review. Hello, folks. This is the Careers Over Beers podcast, and I'm the host, Jesse Krause. So if you're listening right now, I really appreciate it. You are very much appreciated. And keep on listening, keep on sharing, keep on subscribing. Today, I have a special guest on that runs her own social media account. And I think you call yourself an affordable foodie, right?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what that's all about.
Yeah, I'm Ashley Abedini. I do social media management for clients, and I also run ICTBROKEGIRLS. So it's just us broke bitches out there looking for affordable food here in Wichita.
Yeah. So I was looking at your profile here on Instagram, and you actually have in your bio, just a broke bitch looking to eat.
I don't know if I had it. I was like, pizza and then parentheses, and the rich.
And the rich, yeah.
That really caused a lot of controversy.
Why?
Anything political. People are like, just post the pizza. We don't want opinions here.
We don't want your opinion. We just want to see what that food looks like.
I get it. I understand.
So why do you call yourself a broke bitch?
I mean, I'm just a cheap person. If you know me, I'm like that person who brags about having something on clearance or, you know, and I think some of the best food is honestly super affordable. You know, I love the hole in the walls, and I feel like that really is Wichita in a nutshell, is just like a hole in the wall town. Yeah. Which I love.
Hell yeah. Well, today we're drinking some sours. You said you're a sour fan.
I love sour beer.
I'm pre-gaming with some Bud Light here.
I mean, classic. Can never go wrong. I think I've had this, and I remember it being good.
I've never had this in my life, I don't think. This is Odell Brewing Company, Sippin' Pretty Fruited Sour.
Are you a sour person? It's
no.
a very, okay. That's about usually the reaction.
Nope. Usually when people say they have sour beer, I'm like, I'll just drink goat piss or Bud Light or whatever.
I mean, fair enough.
But I'll do it. Let's give it a shot here. Odell Brewing Company. Shout out to you guys. Sippin' Pretty Fruited Sour. Have you tried it already?
Yeah, it's really, I like it.
Cheers. Yeah, it's definitely sour, which is weird.
Like,
which is weird to me. I love sour candy and shit, but in a beer, I
love sour beer, and I would love if there was a sour beer brewery here. Like, that's very niche.
Is there not in Wichita?
There's places that have a lot of sour beer, like Central Standard. I believe. I mean, people know them for having really good sour beer, but I don't think that's like their thing necessarily.
They're not just a sour beer brewery.
I could be wrong. I'm not a huge beer person.
No.
People ride or die the breweries here. So.
Well, we didn't have to drink beer on here. You know, we could drink whatever you want.
I mean, I was like, do they do drugs on the, you know?
We'll do whatever you want.
I like go home and my house is raided. I'm like, awesome.
Awesome, yeah. Well, beer is a drug.
I mean, I like beer.
It's one of my favorite drugs.
I just get very full on beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how people do it. I like drink with my friends and they drink all day. And that's like a skill. And I'm like, my lineage has not prepared me for this.
It's like anything else. You just got to work on it. It's like, you know, you're not going to bench 300 pounds right away. You got to work up to it.
I mean,
and that's, I feel like I've worked up to it sort of in a way.
Just like dream big.
Yeah.
One day you
yeah, big dreams here. Yeah.
I mean, aspiration.
So, what would you actually consider yourself? Like, what would your title be? Is it just social media freelancer?
Yeah, I mean, I recently went from freelancer. I quit my full-time job, so I did freelance. And I have an agency, but it's just me. So it's kind of like interchangeable, I feel like.
So it's just you right now? Do you want to grow it though?
I don't know. I want to do it small enough that people, like, I feel like growth for me, it's interesting because I feel like it's some people with agencies, like the model is just to grow. And it's like, what's the real goal though? Other than
rich
money.
As fuck.
You know what I mean? But it's surprising how you look at the agency owners, like maybe I don't know, they make less money than you would think. So, like, if that was the secret to success, like, people would be doing that. You know what I mean?
So you want to stay an ICT broke bitch.
Living that life, baby.
You don't want to be the rich bitch.
I mean, I hope, even if I'm the 1% of Wichita, which I don't, what is that? What is that? I don't even know. If
I don't know.
just
Wichita's
the 1%,
a small pond, right?
What does that mean? Like 120,000? I don't know. But I'll still be a broke bitch. I'll still be at the hole in the walls, you know.
You gotta do that stuff, you know? You're missing out on the good food if you're not going to the hole in the walls.
And I mean, I think that's the like interesting thing about Wichita is like you go to Kansas City even, and it's like a kind of a fine dining type city, and I don't think Wichita ever is going to be like that.
Ever?
And I mean, it's getting more like that because there's places that people go to now that are like Instagrammable experiences, which is interesting for Wichita.
Instagrammable experiences.
You know what I mean? You go there, it's beautiful. People dress up, they take photos. But the places I go are questionable inside.
They're sketchy.
It's a little sketchy. Maybe you don't take the Instagram photos of the
building,
of the decor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe you don't take a picture of the building itself. It looks kind of sketchy.
I remember the other day I was like legit giving somebody a recommendation, and I was like, "Don't be afraid. There's a bullet hole inside, but like it's fine."
Cool. Yeah.
I was like, it's coming from the inside out, which is weirder. But yeah, you know, that's the risk you take.
That is. It's a risk we take for good food.
And I mean, it's interesting here in Wichita because I post the South Side a lot, and people are very like scared of the South Side. Like during the day, it's like they just are scared. I mean, they seem like it's.
Feel like it's the hood, like they're gonna
yeah,
get
I think
mugged.
so. And I'm like, it's like, I mean, they close at 4. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not at night. It's fine. But yeah, that's the risk you take. You know what I mean?
I love it. Yeah. Risk it all for some good food.
I mean,
that's my shit. And I know I respect what you do because I do that myself. I don't, blog any of it, but I try to hit all those spots.
What's your favorite kind of food?
I don't know if I really have a favorite kind of food, honestly. People ask me that all the time, like, what's your favorite dish to cook? What's your favorite food? And I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I'm just out here eating whatever.
Available.
I like food. I like to eat. I'm a fat ass. I don't care.
I know. I was listening to the interview with Christina, shout out, and she was like, so what do you eat? And you're like, what? I don't know. She's like, so do you not have a signature recipe?
I don't have a signature recipe. I mean, probably steak. People that know me know I eat a lot of steak.
Do you like I feel like we have a lot of good, really like Vietnamese, like Southeast Asians.
For sure.
Super diverse culture, which like brings Vietnamese food and like amazing Thai food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're into that at all.
100%. I've gotten into it more and more lately as well. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't even know what pho was when I was a kid. And when I'm talking kid, I'm talking when I was like 18.
You're like last week, actually.
Yeah. But I've grown, I work down south at McConnell Air Force Base, and there's a ton of Vietnamese places around there.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, I've gotten into that world.
Have you been to the fried rice place?
Oh, yeah.
$5?
Who hasn't? That's the soup Nazi from Seinfeld, right? That's the same thing.
I love
Except it's fried rice.
I love it.
The first time I went in there, actually, they told me it was $5, right? So I hand them my card, and she goes, "You've never been here before, have you?" I'm like, "Oh,
she's like,
shit.
We got a newbie."
What did I fall into here?
I love that place. And, like, things haven't changed, but I'm so old. I mean, I make it sound like I'm an elder, but I remember it was like $3. It was $3.
At fried rice? Yeah. My uncle used to work at Boeing back in the day, and he says it used to be like $3. And same shit, though. You have to walk in there and go, sidestep to the right, hand your cash.
I mean, I shouldn't even say this, but one time I went in and I saw the guy smoking.
Inside?
And I still ate it, and it was still really good. It was like smoky.
Whatever. That was the norm back in the day, right?
Yeah, and I mean, they probably still do that, and which is what I love about places like that.
To each their own. Yeah. Just serve me that delicious, greasy-ass, cheap fried rice.
We won't look at the health inspection. You know what I mean? But we'll just...
That stuff honestly doesn't bother me that much. I'm glad it doesn't bother you either. Some people wouldn't step foot in a place that has, I try
to think about it. So I won't say the name of the place, but there's this place I love, and I saw that somebody found a mouse while they were dining in, which is horrible because, first of all, I hate mice. But I try to remind myself, literally every restaurant has mice.
Sure.
They may not be in front of house, right?
They might not be out in the open.
Yeah, but like every restaurant has them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
They might even be underneath the chef's hat cooking the food, like ratatouille.
Yeah, maybe they're sharing it. Hopefully not.
I've seen mice in restaurants that I really, really like in Wichita.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't give a shit.
Really?
I'm kind of just,
I want to get there.
That's how it is. That's life. You're on planet Earth. There's creatures that get into things.
That's a level of laid back I need to get to. Because I have a fear of mice. But
Why?
I don't know. As a child, I had a lot of nightmares.
About mice?
Yes. I don't know. And I asked my mom, I was like, did I have a traumatic she was like, no, you were fine.
Did some guy in a Mickey Mouse costume touch you or something sometime?
I don't want to talk about that on the mic. Yeah, really traumatic McDonald's experience, maybe. I don't know.
That clown?
Or I thought it was a big mouse.
Was it?
Isn't...
Are we talking about the same thing? I'm thinking of
I don't remember my childhood.
When I was a kid, I used to go into McDonald's and there would be a clown sitting there. Ronald McDonald, but it would be like a weirder looking clown. And it was sketchy. I mean, it freaked me out.
I was just to think, I mean, I think they still have the places.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that in a COVID world, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but like, kids are gross anyways, so...
So just throw them out there.
They're just a big petri dish, right? Kids are just a petri dish.
I mean...
No, I don't know. It's probably... Play places are probably going to be a thing of the past at some point.
I don't know. I mean, socialization is...
Yeah.
Probably, we're going to have to outsource that. So.
Yeah. Huh. Well, anyway, back to mice, I guess. Everybody has
it's fine.
Creatures.
Every restaurant has stuff. I'm trying to get to that level of zen, of just...
I think people need to be more forgiving when they do find that, because a lot of these places can't help it. I mean, even your houses, some of the nicest, newest houses I've been to, they've caught a snake or they've caught a spider that's
There's a high intake in mice this year.
Is there?
That's what my...
So it's just gonna, it's just gonna, it's gonna happen. It's not like they're just disgusting as shit and they're like, I don't give a fuck if there's mice in my kitchen,
As long as the reviews, sometimes it's really annoying, and you can kind of tell who writes these reviews. It's usually like a Karen or... I hate to be too specific because my name's Ashley, so I don't want to be like, that too judgmental. But it's always people that specifically put down their service, but they never mention the food.
Yeah.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. Especially for foodies like you.
Well, it's like...
Because you're just going there for the food. You don't really care, to be honest, much about the service. Yeah.
I mean... So, yeah, And nobody uses Yelp here. So you have to, like, do a little investigative research. Instagram, I guess, is what people do.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, Google, too, right? Google has reviews.
Yeah, it was interesting. I made this survey, like, how do you determine where to go to eat? And it's like so much process that people put in. Like, usually people don't pick a place blind. Like they really want to research for their money. So like even if they're only spending $12, they like want to make sure it's a good experience before they just like try something willy-nilly, which I thought was really interesting.
Is that not the way it is in other places?
I mean, I don't know. I really don't know because I've only lived in one other place. And that's... I lived in Austin, Texas, which is a super, like, unrepresentative place because everyone's from a different place there, and people don't stay there that long. So it's super opposite of Wichita. Like, where
people are lifers.
People are lifers. Like, you meet... It's hard to meet people here that are, like, totally unrelated to Wichita. Like, usually they married somebody into the military, but you never know. You're getting more like... You're getting more people that I feel like have no idea about Wichita, and they're just like, oh, I got a job offer, which is kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I've always said that Wichita feels like a big, small town. It's a big city. It's considered a big city for sure, but it's almost like a small town in the sense that you can never really go anywhere without running into somebody that you're going to know.
It's good and bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good and bad, but...
I feel like there's... Yeah, like, I agree with that. I feel like you can't really be an asshole here professionally too much. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if
you don't want to just be roasting every business as a food blogger.
Not even that, but like, I don't know. Like, if two people think you're an asshole in Wichita, like, you're probably an asshole. You know what I mean? And like that reputation like stays with you. I feel like.
Yeah.
Where in Austin, Texas, it's like there's so many people. There's so many people moving in every day. You can kind of be an asshole.
You're just another asshole.
You're just that,
Yeah.
just another asshole. Like, you're that asshole. I don't know.
So are there times where you have to be an asshole, though, as a food blogger? If something just totally sucked?
I mean, I've never had it that bad.
Really?
No, I mean, I've had super slow service. Nobody was ever, like, mean to me and my family or anything. Like,
As far as the food goes, though, have you ever had something just so trash, you're like, oh, my God, I'd rather eat a frozen dinner?
Honestly, no. But I probably research places, too, before I go.
Do you?
A little bit.
So you haven't eaten at every restaurant in Wichita?
Probably not. There's a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
Man. There's a lot of restaurants here. There's more restaurants here per capita than, like, I don't know the statistics.
I've heard that.
Wild.
I've heard that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard before that we're the restaurant capital of the world.
Which is interesting.
In that way.
It's interesting because it's like a lot of companies test market their products here. Like, we're just to, see if we're the representative sample, because we're very representative, I guess, like in terms of minorities. Like, we're diverse, but it's like representative of the U.S., which I think is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're more diverse than I think people think.
We're the heartland, right? We're the heart of America.
Farms, America, justice. I don't know.
Yeah, and guns, right?
I mean, I see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I feel like opening a dating app is like doing market research in a town. People love guns here, which is great. People, freedom. Sure. A lot of hunting.
Yeah.
Which is great. I'm not vegan, but
yeah. There's not very many places in town that offer wild game. Have you noticed that?
No, there's not. Because this is kind of specific. I was looking for a meat shop.
Yeah.
And there's some really good butcher shops, but they don't seem to have like unique meat.
Right.
There's no Joe Rogans. You know what I mean?
There's no Joe Rogans. No.
I don't know why I always bring him up. I don't hate the guy or love him. I don't know, but when I say Joe Rogan, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, that guy eats some weird.
Yeah, there was no influence here.
Oh.
Right. I mean, I heard that he's starting a podcast. Is that true?
I mean, I don't know.
I wish him the best.
On Spotify?
I mean, yeah, he's good.
He made me switch.
He's good with UFC and with Fear Factor, so I wish him the best.
I don't know. Maybe he'll be okay. We'll see.
We
wish him well.
We wish him well. He'll do okay.
Prayers.
But yeah, there's no really Joe Rogans around here I mean, I don't think you can even buy elk meat locally. If I'm wrong, then somebody should hit me up and let me know. But it's mainly, it's all beef. We're a beef town here.
But maybe because, like one of my friends casually the other day was like, yeah, I split a cow with somebody. And I'm like, what? I'm like, do people do that here?
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah, but I live out here in the country on the west side of Wichita,
And it makes sense.
And so my cousins are cattle farmers. And
okay.
I'll get a quarter or a half cow every year. Fill my freezer.
Maybe people they still have the cow from last year,
Right.
So they're not like looking for the new elk because they already got a cow.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
Never enough meat.
Well, let's get back to the basics here. How did you become a food blogger?
We're all over the place.
What got you started in food blogging?
Well, I'm from Wichita, but I lived in Austin, Texas. I moved there, and I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody, and so I just started this Instagram. I hated my job. I was working for these libertarians that like made me write these ads about politics, and I'm like, what is my life? And so I made this food account, and I think it did really well in Austin because in Austin there's a lot of bougie bitches. It's a lot of money, and so I think they were like, oh, somebody's like impoverished like me. Poverty is relatable.
Oh, so that's always been your theme, is the broke bitch that's going out to eat?
It was ATXBROKEGIRLS, and it did really well there. So yeah, I really love food. I've always loved food. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I love Anthony Bourdain. Bourdain, like, really inspired me. I know, like, who doesn't have that story, right? To go to Thailand by myself, and it was the best experience
of my
life. Yeah, and it was the first place I went outside of the country, and it was just such a cool experience. It was super safe.
Yeah. Like,
I'm glad I went to Thailand.
That's one of my bucket list places, too. It's
super cheap. If you can find a decent flight, because it's really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I found, especially in Wichita, like it's hard to find flights, but if you can find a good flight, you save so much money because you can get like an amazing Airbnb, like a whole little mini villa for like $30 a night.
No shit.
Isn't that wild?
Some crazy stuff happens there, though. You got to watch out for those lady boys, right?
I mean, you're fine.
That's what they warn me
I mean, unless
about.
you're like seeking that out, which maybe you are. And that's a niche.
I'm sure people do go there to
judgment.
seek that out.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting life because there's a lot of white. I shouldn't generalize. Like, there's a lot of white
rich
men,
old white dudes,
expats, right?
That you're like, wonder what you're doing here. Surely it's not just for the food.
I mean, you see a lot of old white men, and they love the Thai women.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very quiet culture. A lot of men don't like women.
Well, it's
talk.
one of those things where when you see a rich white dude in Thailand by himself, you're like, huh.
I mean,
I wonder what that dude's doing here.
Yeah.
Or even if he's here for business, I wonder what he's doing in his free time.
Thailand's popping right now. I mean, not right now, maybe. I don't know. Since COVID, but I like love this digital nomad lifestyle. Like, I want to be that person maybe one day. Have a home base in Wichita, and Thailand is the place to do it, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what was the food like?
It was amazing.
Is it a lot more different than it is in America, or are there some authentic places here where it's like the same shit?
I mean, there's this place on South Hillside. It's a little questionable. Some people would say Chiang Mai. I think that place is amazing.
Oh, cheers to that. That is my favorite Thai place in town.
Because that's by your work, kind of, right?
It is, yeah. So I work down there, very close to that, and that's almost a once a week thing for us.
I love that
work.
place. It's so good. It's cheap. They have that cheap lunch menu.
Oh yeah.
I love their little donuts. Everything's
Those little
amazing
donuts
there.
at the end, yeah.
It's so good. Somebody I was dating at the time introduced me, and that was probably the best thing they contributed to that relationship because I keep going.
Do you?
Even that ended, but I love that place.
Yeah, shout out to Chiang Mai Thai in Wichita.
mean,
Everybody go try it if you're
the
around
best.
here. Yeah.
I love that place a lot. And yeah, there's a lot of legit places like that. There's a lot of Latin American spots that I love. Have you ever been to Gabby's? Peruvian? So good.
I have not.
It's so good. I've gotten like everybody obsessed with it.
Really?
Have you ever had Peruvian food by any chance?
I don't know if I have. I probably have. I just don't know.
It's super specific. I mean, they're known for ceviche. So you might not think of like Wichita Peruvian food destination.
I've had ceviche at like Mexican places before.
Yeah, I mean, their ceviche is actually like really good. You might think of ceviche like fresh fish in Wichita,
like raw shrimp or whatever. Yeah.
But it's really good, and yeah, all their Peruvian dishes are really good.
I'll check it out. Yeah,
it's delicious.
I'll check it out. I'm somewhat of a foodie. I'm kind of like you in a way.
I'm one of you.
I am.
I eat.
I am a fellow human that eats. Yes.
No, I mean, it's funny. My family are not food people. Like, they're the most simple people, which is great for me. Because if I cooked, like, chicken breast, they'd be like, this is amazing.
Holy shit.
Really? And I mean, I love that, though.
Well, yeah, my parents are kind of like that, too. I'll cook some exotic stuff sometimes, and they're like, what is going on here? What is this? I've never seen this.
You're like, it's mashed potatoes? Like, what?
Yeah, it's mashed potatoes with the skins on, Dad.
I mean...
He's like, oh, that's just weird. I've never seen that before.
I don't know what it is. My dad's Middle Eastern, and he eats Middle Eastern food, but he loves chain restaurants.
Really?
And I don't know if he like romanticizes that as being like oddly American, but he like loves Applebee's. I'm just like, why are you making me go here? This is embarrassing. What if someone sees me? No, but
yeah,
you know.
Well, I had McDonald's for lunch today, so I can't talk shit.
Dude,
sometimes you have to.
This bitch loves an Egg McMuffin. Is that basic? Yeah, it's hella basic.
Who cares? Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you get that craving.
I haven't had like chicken nuggets or anything in a while, but we all have our fast food
guilty pleasures.
Pleasure.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Like in life or
in food? We don't need to go down other rabbit holes here. But
I mean, I didn't go to my therapy session, so I love Taco Shop. Which is kind of like
taco shop.
Kind of disgusting.
See, that could start a war too in Wichita because some people are on the Taco Tico train, some people are on the Taco Prano train. Then we have people like you that are on the taco shop train.
I don't know what it is, and
it's super cheap.
It's super cheap. It's something you can digest, and like every body can digest.
Can it? I don't know.
My sister is such a healthy person, and the other day she was like, Ashley, I had something unhealthy the other day, and it's been so long, and my body rejected it. It's just like, what's that like?
See, I'm the opposite. My body's going to reject healthy shit.
I told her you just need to eat more of the bad stuff to incorporate that in your diet.
Yeah. And the bad stuff a lot of times that they call bad isn't that bad, right? As long as there's not a bunch of preservatives and bullshit in it. Fat's good for you. Grease. Sometimes you just need greasy food. You ever get that craving?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're like hungover or when it's 2 a.m. and you're like, all right, I got to get something nasty here.
What you eat when you're hungover or of a substance should not count towards like the calorie intake.
Have you ever been to Renee's?
Yeah, it's been a very long time though.
Colorado burrito at 3 a.m. There's nothing like it. It hits differently.
I mean, that's the premium time to eat that.
Oh yeah.
And there's not a lot of there's not very many 24-hour places here except for like McDonald's maybe or fast food. So if you have like kind of okay food and you're 24 hours, and especially if it's like conductive to drunkenness, like tacos and stuff. Business model.
So you like taco shop, huh? More than the other taco places.
Honestly, it's right by my house, so I probably just got used to it.
I
know it's generic, okay?
I'm not judging anybody. I just told you I had McDonald's for lunch. So
it's a safe space.
You know, if I called myself a foodie, people would laugh at me just because they're like, "No, you're not. You had McDonald's today."
I mean,
but a McDouble sometimes is just something your body needs.
I mean,
it's not very often.
I love, like, even Popeyes. I love Popeyes.
That's funny you say that because speaking of Anthony Bourdain, he actually always used to say that, Popeyes was his guilty pleasure. And there was times where he just had to have Popeyes and they would go out of the way to do it.
I mean, out of all the, chicken, it's the best.
It is.
Okay. KFC, I'm like, there's no seasoning.
Yeah, I'm not a big KFC fan myself.
Do you like liver and gizzards? Which I know this is a controversial opinion. If they had that at Popeyes.
Is that your shit?
I love it.
Liver and gizzards?
I love it.
Really?
Is that your shit?
That's an odd thing to be into, right?
I mean, I'm not like waking up at 4 a.m. I got a hankering for some livers and gizzards.
I know people that will eat liver and gizzards, but I don't know anybody that's like, that's my thing.
That's my shit.
If they had that, I'd be there. If KFC had liver and gizzards, you'd be there?
Oh, I might. But if it's as generic as their chicken. But you don't want to have generic liver and gizzards.
Liver and onions.
I don't know. And oddly enough, Dillon's has the best. Well, for what you're expecting, they have pretty good gizzards and lizards.
Do they really?
And you can just go up there
Lizards.
I don't know.
What's your favorite lizard to eat?
After 3 drinks, I'm like, woo!
Have you ever eaten lizard?
No, I
Never?
don't think so.
I don't think I have either. It might have to be something on my bucket list now.
I don't know. I don't know the weirdest stuff I've eaten.
Do you shy away to weird foods? Like super exotic ones?
But I'm not like, oh, I'm going to take a photo. Take a photo of me eating this.
Do you ever
what's the point? I never got that show. What's that Weird Eats guy?
Bizarre Foods?
What a spectacle.
You're not into that?
I don't know. I have very specific opinions about things that don't matter. But
well, let me ask you this. If you go to like a Vietnamese place, are you going to try the tripe?
Yeah, well, okay, the tripe isn't weird.
Is that how you pronounce it, by the way? Is it tripe or is it tripes?
I just say number 4, and they include everything.
That is one thing that's cool about those Asian places is they number everything.
Right.
So you can just go, okay, I'll take the P5.
They're like, we know white people can't say this. We need to put numbers, and I respect that. Or pictures, even better.
Right.
For my people. But yeah, I feel like tripe isn't weird when it's with everything else. But when you think about eating tripe, like that's weird.
The stomach lining. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, see, I've never really even thought like this much about tripe. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I just eat it, and it's like, oh, this is good. But if I was eating like a bowl of tripe, I'd probably be like, I don't know, I want this next time. You know
I don't think anybody's gonna go out and eat a bowl of tripe. to be fair.
I'm probably being like really insensitive to like a culture or something. I don't know.
Is there anything you would shy away from? Or are you down for anything?
You know what?
If I gave you a cricket taco, would you eat it?
Is there a cricket taco?
There are cricket tacos.
Like if I say
Mexican,
yes, is there going to be a cricket taco coming out right now?
That would be kind of neat if I just pulled one out.
I'd be like, well,
there's food trucks that have cricket tacos in Wichita.
I would probably try it. I wouldn't go out of my way to like drive miles to try this cricket taco or whatever. But I did one time I went to dim sum.
I don't think I've been there. Dim sum?
I don't know food well to be talking about food, but
you're a food blogger.
I know. It's relatable food. But yeah, I did not like it. But everything was boiled. And it was like a brunch thing. And somebody was like, "Oh, would you want to try a little?" It was like bird hand or something, and it looked disgusting. But I was like, I'll try it. And it tasted better than you might expect. But I was like, am I doing this for like just to say I am?
Just doing it for the gram. Right?
This was even before the gram. What was I doing it for?
Now that you have the gram, though, you got to do exotic shit like that. People like to see that.
I mean, maybe that's how I get my first 10K, you know?
What are you at now?
I think I'm about to hit 6K.
6K? Congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
That's a lot. Do you have some competitors around here, too?
There's a lot of... There's food people. There's not a food market in Wichita.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, there's like not that many people that are like actually getting paid. So there's like a food writer, Denise Neal, which is awesome. She's from the Eagle. And then there's like food bloggers, which are really cool. But like they're also like they work full time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they got shit going on. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely food people that have like seem like they've been reviewing food in Wichita like forever. You know?
Well, I kind of wanted to get into that with you. Like, what are the opportunities for a food blogger out there? Do you have to be employed by like a newspaper, or is it becoming more of a world where you can make it on social media or on your own blog or whatever it is?
I mean, it's a slow game because if you think about it, like a city like Wichita, like who's going to be paying? It's a like in Austin, I got paid by restaurants to sponsor the restaurants on my post, and like they would pay me to go out and like showcase the menu. And here I feel like it's just an interesting concept, like this influencer marketing. Like it's kind of a slower concept to come here.
Right.
So it's a slow growth. Like to think you're gonna be a Wichita influencer and start like making money, like that seems like
kind of far-fetched.
That seems kind of far-fetched.
If you're gonna quit your job just to be a food blogger in Wichita, you're not gonna have very good luck making money.
Yeah, get some side income. But I mean, because it's like Wichita, it's all about who you know. And it's a very engaged, tight-knit community that you really just have to get to know. Like, I've only been back for a year, and people have been very friendly. Like, I've met so many cool restaurant owners. But, I mean, I've only been here for a year. You know what I mean? So it's just the expectation. Like, what is the expectation? Like, what can I realistically grow to in Wichita? Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it is a limited...
Because you're limited to the Wichita community. I mean, at some point, it's going to max out.
But that being said, I mean, I do think restaurant owners are starting to understand the appeal of social media. Like, it's interesting in Wichita because most restaurant owners aren't on Instagram. Like, they're just on Facebook. And they have a big Facebook, and they've been doing that a while. So they have their base on Facebook, but they don't understand that they can be getting a lot of people on Instagram or TikTok, you know, like just other platforms.
Yeah.
So it's just about kind of like letting the restaurant owners know and just explaining to them the importance of it.
What do you think the biggest platform is to grow right now? Whether you're a restaurant or even like a podcast or whatever you're doing, what do you think the biggest opportunity for growth is? Or is it just a combination of all of them?
I mean, it really depends. I think I see the most growth in general on Instagram and TikTok. Like, the video content is really getting pushed out there. And I hate to say that because, like, I love copy. I feel like copywriting is slowly dying. You know, so it's like I'm trying to think, how do I incorporate videos more? Because like Instagram, people aren't growing on Instagram like they were 5 years ago. like it's just hard, like to go from 0 to 100. Like you have to already have a pretty built-in audience to continue to grow. It's very slow growth.
Well, they have the Reels thing now though too, which is more like a TikTok interface where you're just swipe, swipe, swipe.
Yeah, and a lot of people are using TikTok and like Instagram almost interchangeably. So they'll see like the trends first on TikTok, but then they'll incorporate that on Instagram. And I mean, Instagram's been like pushing out all the video content. Like if you just post photos, like your traction is so low, which I hate, you know, because I hate that's kind of like what it's forming into. But yeah, I would say Instagram. I mean, it seems like LinkedIn is super important depending on your industry, which is kind of like a boring platform, you know what I mean? But like it's important depending on like what industry you're in. I mean, it seems like I heard 90% of decision makers are on LinkedIn.
Really?
Yeah, so like depending on your industry, it's kind of important to be on there. So
I might need to get on there.
I mean,
I don't have a LinkedIn. Do you?
I do. I mean, I'm not super active, but I definitely LinkedIn stalk. When I was applying for jobs and getting rejected, I would see who they hired. You know, like I'm such a nosy Nelly. LinkedIn is perfect. Yeah, that's like why I'm in marketing. I love psychology and like learning about people's weird tics and my own.
That's the kind of, you're in the right career field for that then, right? Social media, you can snoop on everybody. See what their tick is.
Right? I mean, I feel like social media is like psychology, but how do I use capitalism? Like, how do I use that in capitalism to like help my brand and company, right? Like, how do I make money in this?
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking you today. Is how you make it. What's the goal here? How are you going to make money out of all this?
So I'm really excited because I have a lot of social media clients. My goal in 2022 is to get all restaurant, specifically Wichita restaurant owners. It's been kind of a hard sell. I feel like a lot of them are. It's one, showing the importance of social media and demonstrating that, and it's kind of, I think, taken me all year to be like, hey, like I've grown 6,000 on my account. And it's really easy steps. So I'm going to be doing a really fun program that's self-guided starting in March for restaurant owners. And so I think it's interesting because some restaurant owners don't know anything about social media, but a lot of them know a lot and they're just overwhelmed, right? And they don't know like...
Well, there's a lot to it. If you're running a restaurant...
so much.
You know, there's so much involved in just running a restaurant. People don't realize you're putting in a lot longer hours than a normal employee that's just working one shift.
Dude, the restaurants are the hardest businesses to successfully run. The overhead is so high. Like, everything is just wild about restaurants. You know, can you imagine, like, all your products could easily expire? Like, people could not buy that. And, you know, like... There's so much variables. I feel like if I was a little crazier and maybe like better medicated, I would have a restaurant. But like that's not me. So I want to help restaurant owners as much as possible, you know?
Which they need people like you too. Because when it comes to the social media side, if you are running a business like a restaurant where there's all those factors that it's just, you know, it's a crazy ass world to be honest. Then you throw in, oh, well, there's 4 other social media websites you need to be posting on like weekly or even daily, you know? Well, a lot of them are just like, oh, God. I'm the same way. Even with the podcast, you know, the best practice is to be posting constantly on Instagram, TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, have a schedule, content
Facebook,
calendar.
Twitter,
Business owners are like, I'm so busy. Like, what the hell is a content calendar, right?
Yeah.
Like, when I talk to this about, like, so it's all just about scheduling. Like, have somebody that either does it for you, like writes the content, post it, analyzes it, reports it, or they just help you. Like sometimes they just need consulting. And because there's so many restaurant owners that are super smart, they just have so much on their plate. Like how are they supposed to understand the newest Instagram updates when it's like hard for me to understand that because it changes every day, you know?
Right. Even like YouTube Shorts, I have to go on YouTube and watch videos on YouTube Shorts just to understand what it even is and how to do it.
YouTube is wild. I love YouTube, but it would be hard to like grow, I feel like.
Well, you could just look at it as another tool, though. It's just another way of getting your name out there, even if you don't make that your main way of income or your main following. Even it's still just out there.
I mean, for a podcast, it's obviously
podcasting, sure,
you know.
But I have a TikTok and some other things that I'm really, really bad about posting on. But it's just a way to get exposure. You know, that's the way I view it.
Yeah.
And why not? If you have an opportunity to post on all these platforms, but you're the one that's supposed to be the expert on this.
That is I.
Are you mainly on Instagram only then?
I have Facebook, but I'm naturally on Instagram a lot.
You're following that is looking at your posts every day or wherever you're eating at. Is that mainly Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I find so. Last I looked at my audience, it's like 23 to 32 females. That's my audience. Like, it's young women, and they're very active on Instagram. Like, they're on everything. Like, they're on Facebook, they're on Pinterest, all this stuff. But like, people are on Instagram so much. Like, people are on stories, Instagram stories. Like, the amount of time people are on Instagram is truly overwhelming. It's
crazy. But when you look at the, demographics, a lot of it is female that is in that age range, right? Even that are, if you just look at Instagram as a whole, that's what majority of it probably is. I don't know that for sure, but.
Yeah, it's definitely, social media in general is skewed women. And if you see the usage of social media, it's by far like the most engaged users are women. So I mean, I think it's an important demographic to go over.
Well, especially when you're following an account called ICTBROKEGIRLS, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you don't picture a big mountain man with a big beard following ICTBROKEGIRLS, probably.
I mean, I have relevant I guess broke girl experience. I talk about, I don't know, dating apps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, just enough to be sometimes I'll put political things, just very little bit on my Instagram story, enough that people are like, let's talk about food. I'm like, okay, all right.
Everybody has a target audience, though, right?
I noticed, though, it's interesting in Wichita, people like in Austin, people followed me sometimes for just political stuff, but here it's not like that at all, which is fine. Like, it's just a different audience. So yeah, I just gotta be witty, but not political too much.
Well, it's all about what you want people to follow you for, right? Is it just solely food that you want people to follow you for, to find the best places to eat?
Yeah, restaurants, a little bit of just local businesses. I have an office at the Hive, and I meet so many really cool women entrepreneurs, especially, and so many people are starting really cool, brick and mortars here in Wichita. So I think that's kind of cool to maybe start expanding on.
Yeah, I saw it on your social media and your website. Actually, I was looking at it a little bit, snooping myself, and I saw that one of your passions, you said, was just helping out local businesses and small businesses, which is super cool.
I feel like we have really great little boutiques. So many. I love Clifton Collective. There's I forgot all the names, but there's so many cute little places, and I don't know if people have a lot of expendable income. I don't know if there's a huge demographic that does well with those kind of stores. But I have a friend, Bella Bonita. She started a store. It's a scrunchie place. I mean, she does a lot more than scrunchies, but she started a brick and mortar because people just absolutely loved all of her creations. And it's you would have never thought that would happen in Wichita,
Sometimes you just got to do shit and it'll take off and nobody really knows why, but hey, there's a customer base for it.
Right? I feel like it's
why not?
It's a up and coming artsy type community, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm not in the art community so much, but I think it's cool that what we have going on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you look at bigger places like Kansas City, you mentioned earlier, there's a lot more of that than there is here, which here it's growing here, like you said, but you look at Wichita 10 years ago, and there was nothing like that. So it's getting better.
I feel like it is. I feel like it's growing. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of boomerangs like me that have been gone for a while and came back, and we're like, okay, it's not so bad here.
Yeah. It's decent. The cost of living is low.
There's the traffic.
Which is attractive to you probably, too, right?
I mean, I feel like I'm balling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you can ball out in Wichita, right?
I was at the Dollar Tree yesterday. I was like, what?
Do you ever check out any crazy places in Wichita, any strip clubs or sex shops? Because I feel like we have Patricia's and Vegas Video and all those places, and
I mean,
I've never seen a blogger really go in there.
I should go to a strip club and review the sandwich.
Review their taco bar.
Is that a joke?
I don't know. Maybe they have a buffet. I don't know.
Portland. Have you ever been to Portland?
Portland, Oregon?
Yeah.
I have not.
So they're known for strip clubs. People go there to eat.
Really?
Sounds weird. Portland's a weird place.
That is an odd experience.
It's a weird place.
Grabbing dinner at a strip club.
But people like, I was gonna go to a strip club if I was in Portland just for the food, but it ended up not working out. But I feel like I would go to like that. Like I would go to a strip club for some good wings.
Some good grub. Like, yeah, if you can get, you might not be into the strip tease or even a girl.
They're just like, on my face, and I'm like,
But they have good food. The wings are killer. It's just a matter of like trusting it, right? If you don't trust a mouse in a restaurant, do you really trust like just a bunch of who knows what going on all around you? But if you're like me, you don't care. I mean,
I should go to like what's like the food they serve in jail? Psych wards. You know what I mean? Should I go down that?
That's a good point too. You could have these categories, these little subcategories of weird places that serve food. Because I guarantee you, I don't know for sure.
I don't know how I could sneak my phone into the prison, but I'd be like, you guys don't understand. I need to blog this.
Yeah, just say you're going to interview somebody there.
I'll be like, oh, is BTK here?
BTK in the house? I wonder what BTK eats. You ever thought about that?
I love researching. I'm a weirdo, and I'm revealing a lot about myself, but I love learning like people's famous like last meals. Mm-hmm. And people just have weird requests. Like, what would be your last meal?
My last meal, honestly, would be a bunch of things. I would have to have like a table full of random shit. I'd have like some chicken wings. I'd have a big fat ribeye for sure. I'd probably get just a ribeye cap. I'd go all out. Some Wagyu beef. There'd be a bunch of random stuff there. There'd be like a Reese's peanut butter cup over here. A tomahawk ribeye.
My last meal?
What would you do?
I mean, I joked that I would do never-ending breadsticks at Olive Garden, but that's a bad response. I don't know. I think I would eat Persian food. Like I'm half Persian, so it's like home, like kebab and.
You want to get that little home feel before you get executed?
Before I go back home.
I like the way Daniel Tosh put it. I'm going to eat a bunch of Taco Bell so that you motherfuckers clean some shit up.
Oh, Daniel Tosh.
You guys are going to clean some shit if you're going to kill me.
I mean, the way they used to kill people back in the day, it's wild.
Some of them were better, in my opinion. I would take the guillotine over almost everything, or the guillotine, or however you pronounce it.
I mean, it seemed like those weren't all that effective, though.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't...
Chopping your head off?
Because it took some. Like, it's not like, whoop, and then your head was off. Like, didn't they have to try a few times?
I don't know. I always was under the assumption that it just whopped your head off, and there you are, laying there looking at your body for like 10 seconds. Like,
maybe it was just this gruesome case that I researched too much, but it was this one case that stuck with me, and it was a public execution, and this was like the last public execution. But it was like, I don't know if the guy's fucked with the guy, and it just wasn't that sharp.
Yeah, that's a dirty trick.
And it's a public execution.
Don't worry, it'll be quick, buddy.
Don't worry.
They have a dull blade on there. That's
I mean,
if it works though, there's no better way to go out, in my opinion.
What about like just what they do now?
Well, I don't know, because there's a bunch of controversy behind that. Some people think that it's more painful, and they don't actually know the pain when you're dying by the shot or whatever. You
can't come back to let us know.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like.
But like the head chop off, that's just boom, it's done. There's no way you're feeling that.
But you can blink for a little bit and still be alive.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to be looking at your body like, oh shit, that actually happened.
Dope.
For like 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's
not a bad way. The electric chair would suck.
I mean, I don't want to regress.
You want to progress.
I mean, I don't know how we can get better. Dr. Kevorkian, like go on a party bus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Just give me a tomahawk ribeye and chop my head off, I guess, and I'll be good.
I mean, there's better ways.
It's more about the last meal than the way it is to die, right?
Exactly.
Would you rather have your big last meal and not get to choose the way you're executed, or get to choose the way you're executed and not have anything to eat?
I would probably choose how I got executed.
Yeah, that's an easy one. But
what if they were like, we're gonna stab you for days?
That would suck. You're gonna stab me full of fried chicken. That's fine.
Sounds like a personal problem. Get in their head.
We're into some weird shit now. I don't know how
Welcome
this got
to the club.
Yeah.
You're like, exit. You're like, you have a job, right?
So Persian food, huh?
Have you ever had it? There's no Persian restaurant here. There's been a few, but they've always closed immediately because nobody goes to them for some reason. I think they just don't know about it.
What's a Persian dish? I don't even know if I know of one.
I mean, they're known for like the kebab. So it's like on the huge skewers.
Oh.
So you probably know them for that.
Like a Mediterranean style, what do they call that? Chicken shawarma or beef shawarma?
Similar.
Where it's all stacked on a big skewer and it's just kind of slowly roasted and then you chop it off? Are you talking about like little kebabs?
That's the gyro. But I mean, it's still good.
Are you talking about like individual kebabs?
Yeah, just like getting the beef and just like putting it on the stove.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that's
know
good stuff.
Yeah, gotta love kebabs.
Yeah.
But no, they have really good stew. They have really good lamb. Yeah, we have really good, like, it's gourmet sabzi, which is like our traditional dish. Super yummy. Nothing too crazy, but it's just like interesting herbs.
Really?
Yeah, and the rice has a lot of fruit. There's a lot of pomegranates, which is kind of interesting. Like, you guys don't fuck with your rice here, you know?
No. Do we need to?
I love throwing stuff in.
I like cilantro lime rice, which is really basic. It's just lime, cilantro, and salt. But
I mean,
I like any rice, to be honest. But we don't have a lot of rice dishes where you're incorporating stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's just a lot of. We just put fruit, nuts, and stuff.
I don't know if I've ever had fruit in rice. Well, I take that back. Chiang Mai Thai, pineapple fried rice. Yeah, I have.
So good.
That's good shit.
See?
I don't know if I've ever.
Onto something.
Yeah, I've never had pomegranate or anything like that in rice, though. Something real sweet.
Fuck shit up, man. So good. It's so good. And then they make this rice dish, and like you turn it around, and it's all crusty on the top. Tatik. It's so good.
There's nowhere in Wichita I can get that?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a huge Persian demographic, and they know enough to probably not have a Persian restaurant. I say that people should start a Persian restaurant.
For sure. Yeah.
I'd go. I'd publicize it.
100%. Bring it here.
It's my people.
Yeah, you need to get that out there.
Every day.
Do you know any Persian people in town?
My dad.
Does he want to start a restaurant?
No, he's like, I'm retired. I'm good. I really wanted to do a food truck with him. And name it Saddam's Kebabs.
Saddam's Kebabs.
I was like, Dad, no one likes Saddam. We can name it Saddam's Kebabs. He was like, no.
No. It's yeah. I don't know if people would really like to eat at a place called Saddam's Kebabs.
I mean, I don't know. I had a few names, just a few ideas. I really want to start. I'm not gonna do this, but if I was gonna start a vegan restaurant, it would be like Heaven or Hell, and it would be like really healthy stuff, and then I would just like
have like the hell side,
bastardize all these like regular dishes and just make it vegan. Would you? I mean,
interesting. Yeah.
I feel like there'd be a lot of people that would go that aren't normally vegan.
Well, you could make Heaven or Hell, and you could do the heaven dishes are vegan, and then the hell dishes are meat. Like,
Yeah. But like,
you really wanted to get in like
true.
the controversial, like.
That's true. I feel like vegans would be like, but like, how are they cooking our food? Like, you know what I mean? Like the cross contamination.
Oh yeah.
I joined this Wichita vegan Facebook group. I don't know why, because I was just feeling silly and goofy, and I joined this group, and there's not that many of them, but they're hardcore.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be hardcore to be vegan, right? When everything's made with animal products around you.
I mean, yeah.
To stick it out and actually be a vegan, That's a lot of dedication.
Yeah, and I mean, they're really excited when they find like fake chicken nuggets at Dillon's or something, and they'll post about it, and they get everybody excited.
See, that's always been weird to me, how a lot of vegan dishes or a lot of vegan foods want to mimic what meat tastes like.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't like that trend.
Yeah.
I don't care what it looks like if it tastes good, but so many people, like the Impossible Burger, tries to make it look so much like
They try to make it like a regular
that
Whopper.
It bleeds.
Right. So really, what's the point?
And so they're putting so much money and like scientific research into having it look like meat, but like, who cares?
They want to make it just like meat, then just eat meat. In my opinion, if you want to be a real vegan, let's make dishes that are amazing that don't look like meat at all, that are just fresh vegetables or whatever it is.
Yeah, I love places like if I do go to a vegan place, which I mean, there's only I think one in Wichita, but like. I like the places that have a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, there used to be a food truck actually called Kind Cravings in Wichita. Do you remember that at all?
I feel like I've heard of them, but I don't know if I've ever
The
been
food
there.
was fantastic, and it was a vegan food truck.
Oh, cool.
Or maybe it was just vegetarian. It was one of the two. Either way, I would consider myself a big meat eater, and I thought the food was fantastic at that food truck. So if you can make it right, it's delicious. You don't need to copy a Whopper. You don't need to make something like a Whopper.
Yeah.
For it to be vegan,
and it's like, I mean, I think people are open to not eating meat in every meal. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like carnivores would go eat vegan food maybe if
you make it right.
Yeah.
If they're trying to copy meat, a carnivore's gonna be like, that's not meat.
But I do have some friends that are like, vegan? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
And they're just like which I get. I kind of get that because some of it is weird.
Yeah, teach their own. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I'm not going to judge.
Let me eat my vegan hot dog.
Let me eat my ribeye.
I've never eaten a vegan hot dog, but...
There's actually another place in town, now that you mentioned vegan hot dogs, called Wheat Street Dogs.
Okay, that place has a cult following. And they only usually... I've been trying to find this, trying to, order from this place, but they usually only are open on, Monday, and they're at Wichita State.
Yeah.
And so it's hard.
It's actually very good.
That's what I've heard, dude.
I've had it too. I used to
Really?
work downtown, and when their little stand would come around.
I need to check them out.
It's really good. And like I said, I'm a big meat guy. So you got to really, really have good shit if you're going to pull a vegan dish off with me. And I thought it was fantastic.
That's cool.
Shout out to Wheat Street Dogs.
You need to give it a shot. I know. But whenever, they don't work that much.
Yeah.
Which I want that life as well. I live that life sometimes. But yeah, they're doing other stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I need to get there on Monday.
Hell yeah.
On Monday. I'll uppercut the university kids. I don't know. I'm 5 foot. I won't do that. They're large.
Yeah, most of them are very large by that age.
I drove by a middle school the other day and I was like, what do they feed children? Or maybe I'm just so
Wheat
small.
Street Dogs.
those vegan byproducts.
They're feeding them all those GMOs, getting them huge, right?
I mean, I need some of that. No.
Well, do you have any last words you want to say to people out there that want to be a social media person, or anybody that wants to blog about food or blog about anything? I mean, what's your advice?
I mean, I think Wichita is a very open market. I feel like the community here loves local people that are talking about restaurants and businesses. So if you think about starting an account, just do it. See where it goes. I think there's definitely potential in Wichita. I think restaurants are starting to see the value in social media and advertising. So yeah, if you have an inkling, go for it. Get involved.
Just do it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it's not a saturated market, which is a great thing about Wichita. If you want to do something here, there's probably not a lot of other people doing exactly what you want, which is nice. I mean, I felt like in Austin, there were so many people, that it was hard to separate yourself. So here, at least, you can have your own little brand. You can have a specific brand identity and probably be so different than most people.
What about people that want to be part of an agency and just outside of food and blogging and all that other stuff? Are there opportunities like that with employers out there that are hiring tons of these people, or is it something you mainly have to do on your own?
It's been interesting. I mean, I don't really know the landscape here in Wichita because I haven't been looking so much. a lot of people are doing their own thing with social media. I think it's good to have maybe agency experience. So if you could get a job with an advertising agency, especially in the beginning, like that's great. Stay with there as long as possible. Just with the insight of maybe doing your own thing. And I mean, you can do freelance part-time while you still have a full-time load. I kind of wish I gracefully went out, but I just hated my job so much. I didn't want to go crazy. So yeah, I was like, I'm just going to quit. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of paths to
maybe do it all
freelance.
at once, maybe work for an agency and also just do your own thing on the side and see where your account grows to,
Yeah, I mean, whatever, works for you.
Yeah. Right on. Well, you want to shout out your social media handles and your website?
Yeah. So you can follow me at ICTBROKEGIRLS, and then my social media is Abedini Social.
Abedini Social. Can you spell that?
Yeah, it's ABEDINI, and then social.
And Facebook, Instagram?
Facebook and Instagram.
TikTok?
No.
No?
Slow. Old millennial, slowly getting.
Old millennial.
I love TikTok, but I'm slowly getting onto like the content creation side of TikTok.
Yeah. And you're starting your own podcast.
Yeah, so I love talking about mental health. And there's such an overlap of business owners and people that have mental illness. So I love talking about that. And I've already had a lot of conversations with women business owners here that have ADHD, bipolar, depression. So yeah, I'm starting that. I'm planning to hopefully launch it probably mid-January, and it's the Bipolar Next Door.
The Bipolar Next Door. Right on. I'll be a supporter. I'll shout you out. I'll throw all this in the description. And I'm going to keep following your stuff because I'm a foodie myself.
Well, thank you for having me on.
So, yeah, for sure. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing and keep informing all of us out there that are looking for places to eat. And, yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sour beers. Odell Brewing.